guys and ghouls, it's your ghostess with the mostest, Amber Brooke here, and I just want to tell you a little about Terror Tuesday. Well, Terror Tuesday is an Instagram live show where I talk about horror, conspiracy theories, serial killers, supernatural stuff, and so much more. And I discuss it with some super special horror-loving guests. So if you like blood, gore, spooky, scary stuff with a hint of comedy, Terror Tuesday is for you. You can tune in on my channel, amber.brook32, to catch one. Tune in or else. Relax. I can't see, but it's just ketchup. Nope, that's blood.
Today's podcast is brought to you by Copper John's Beard Company. Copper John's is committed to taking you on a journey to create your perfect beard through their quality ingredients and scents. Their specially formulated oil and butter will make you and your beard look healthy, manly, and wise. Side note, Copper John's is the only beard product company that uses inland sea minerals. Google it. Inland sea minerals. So, head over to copperjohnsbeard.com and use promo code DELUXE10 at checkout to save 10% off of your entire order. That's copperjohnsbeard.com and use code DELUXE10 at checkout.
This podcast is part of the Deluxe Edition Network. To find other great shows on the network, head over to deluxeeditionnetwork.com. That's deluxeeditionnetwork.com.
Welcome to another episode of Deluxe Edition. I am your host, Casey Shearer. Joining me, as always, L. Ray Sexton.
What's going on, Casey?
Not too much, buddy. How are you?
I'm about ready to go out on my balcony and start fist fighting people.
Why?
Because we just had the most amazing chat with a bare knuckle brawler.
Yeah, the originator of the bare knuckle fighting. Well, no, not the originator. We can't say that because bare knuckle boxing goes back to the beginning of the time. But we just spoke with the inventor of the mighty Trigon, Dada 5000. And yeah, talk about a hype man and promoter. Oh, yeah. He knows how to get you fired up, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm about to go pick a fight with my neighbor.
Don't do that. Don't do that. That's what Dada did originally. He got people off of the streets, fighting them in the backyard and in somewhat legal ways. Not quite legal, but it's better than fighting in the street against people that don't want to be fought. So, yeah, this was an awesome episode. Definitely go check out Byb Extreme. I'll put all the links in the description of the notes, but you can find all of their previous fights on YouTube, on their YouTube channel, after it airs, after their pay-per-view airs. I don't even know if it's a I'm not sure if the BN, because it's on the BN network. I don't think that it's anything you have to pay for. I think it's just you have to find it, be able to get it, and then you'll be able to watch it. But either way, it's free on their YouTube a couple days later. So check them out. And we'll do the quick house cleaning, as I like to call it. And then we'll get into the show. We are a part of the Deluxe Edition Network. You can find all of the other great shows on the network over at deluxeeditionnetwork.com. And the podcasts of the month this month are Terror Tuesday and The Graveyard Club. Terror Tuesday is an Instagram live show every Tuesday with our friend Amber. And The Graveyard Club is a horror show. They talk about a lot of vintage, classic, old horror movies from over in Ireland. So check them out. Ray handles all of the Instagram posting over at Deluxe Edition Pod. Check that out. You can find all of our previous shows over at deluxeedition.show. If you'd like to support the show, go to patreon.com/deluxeeditionpod. Or if you'd like to buy a t-shirt, a hoodie, or some other things, go to whatamaneuver.net/collection/deluxe edition. Ray, how about you?
You can head over to the 10-cent Beer Night podcast on TeePublic, and you could buy random strangers gifts to brighten up their day, because everybody needs to be brightened up this time of the year. And what's a better way to say, hey, how you doing, than to buy someone a hoodie or one of them baby outfit things for their kid, onesies, or a bag for their laptop, because I got all that crap over there for sale.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff over there. Go check it out. It's good stuff, too. And definitely buy some of our the beard products, Copper John's. That's how this beard gets so nice looking every week. The links to all this stuff will be in the description. Am I missing anything, Ray?
No, I think it's time to get into this one.
All right. Here is our chat with Dada 5000. Dada.
Hey, how's it going, gentlemen?
How are
Good,
you,
how
man?
you doing?
I'm awesome. I'm blessed. I cannot complain. Thanks for asking. How about yourselves?
Good, man. Nice shirt.
Oh, thank you. You know, tomorrow, Monday, we can put your sizes inside the mail. Just send them to me. I get over the mic and we get them out.
Oh, awesome, man. Oh, is that for the next show?
No, this right here was 20. So now we're going on 22. This was the one before the last. Yeah, this was what we did in Brook Pines. 21 was last month out in Mississippi.
Okay, right. Well, let's talk about the shows. Let's promote the next two shows right away in the beginning here. The next one's coming up in South Carolina, right?
Rock Hill, South Carolina. You know, and it's going to be on October the 21st. You know, at the Rock Hill Sports and Event Center. You know, and we've been there a couple times. We've leveled the city every time we've came out, and we left a trail of anticipation in our wakes. And this time it's going to be no different. We're just going to do it on a bigger scale. The Mighty Trigon is a one-of-one, totally different from the Octagon, which MMA fighters use, or the Square Circle, which wrestlers and boxers use. You know, we came up, you know, I really believe, you know, that creative minds never take a day off. You know, so we did what we did in the backyard. You know, we took the boxing ring, we shrunk it down to 12 by 12. It was to promote confrontation. But on this next level, you know, we say, hey, listen, we want to forever change the game. And that's what we're doing. We have a 98% KO/TKO rate with that thing. And the people are loving it. It's starting to sweep the nation.
Yeah, man. So, yeah, I was actually at that Pembroke Pines outside of Miami, that one. And that was the first time I got to see you guys live. The Trigon. Let's talk about the Trigon. So you came up with that, right?
Yes. If you guys see the haircut, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So these are upside down triangles. This is how long I've been fascinated with astrology, numerology, you know, bringing stuff from here to here that most people would never even think about connecting. You know, they say some of the craziest people have shaped some of the greatest inventions that we utilize today. They said that, you know, Oprah Winfrey was crazy, Michael Jordan, the Beatles, Walt Disney, Steve Jobs, and in a minute you got to put Dada 5000 and Byb Extreme name inside that same genre, because a lot of folks, they are content, you know, with traditional, with basic, with standard, with regular, with normal, with average. That's what they've been accustomed to. So I said, hey, listen, we're going to be that fresh breath of air to combat sports, right? And put together the mighty Trigon. We have to say the mighty because there's nothing on the planet like it. When you look at shapes, you have the square, you have the circle, you have the rectangle, you have the triangle, and a couple others, right? Then you go down to another classifications. You have the nanogon, the heptagon, the pentagon, the octagon. Guess what? You never had a trigon, right? So now we got the trigon, and it's the most dominant fighting surface known to man. I mean, listen, Shannon Briggs got inside that thing and he said, Dada, I'm going to get more knockouts. Every professional fighter from MMA, that have fought their whole life in the octagon, or boxers, they have that trained mind frame, right? They understand how to move, and they all say, yo, you can't bring your bicycle inside this thing. We've all heard the phrase, he bought his bike in the rain, right? That means the guy ran all night. You can't bring it there. You have 3 equal sides, right? And it's controlled mayhem. That thing tests everything about an athlete. Hand-eye coordination, footwork, recovery time, overall performance, right? It evaluates you, and you got to fight. It's the smallest combat surface in all of professional combat sports. And it was developed right out of the backyard, but is enjoyed by millions of people worldwide.
What are the dimensions of the ring? What are the?
It's 21, 21, 21, if I'm not mistaken, because we have 2. So we have the Trigon cage that we did MMA in, so forth like that, and we have the ring. But it's 187 degrees from here, bringing it around back to here, and I think that, they told me that I was crazy. They said I was nuts if I ever thought bare knuckle fighting was going to blow up. Well, they was right, about a couple things. I am crazy. I am nuts because it takes a crazy person to do what I did inside the backyard, right? But they were wrong. They didn't think that bare knuckle fighting was not going to blow up. And at the end of the day, keep one thing in mind. When Kimbo Slice came on the scene, none of us invented bare knuckle anything. This stuff been around since the dawn of man. Could you envision back in the days cavemen having a quarrel? How did they finalize their results? With these, Yeah. So it's like we played the innovative role, right? And just like you take this cup, I altered its appearance. I made it more eye-catching and more acceptive towards the people of the 21st century. It was like going fishing with good bait, and I caught the world's attention. Kimbo Slice, I always saluted him, and I gave him his flowers, when he was still alive to smell them. And I said, there wouldn't be no Dada 5000 if it wasn't for Kimbo Slice. And that's for real. But because Dada 5000 is a creative, collective thinker, right? And I understand that no one can outdo me. I only can outdo myself. I said, and I told him, I said, yo, listen, bro, you're going on. That was when he accepted to fight Ray Mercer. And we ended up going out to Boardwalk. He did that in Jersey, right, with CFFA, Cage Fury Fighting Championships. I don't even know if those guys are still around. I told him, I said, listen, you're going here now. Let's keep this thing going, and let's give everybody, regardless of what culture, what ethnicity, what background, let's give anybody who feels they got what it takes to be the Kimbo for their people. They didn't see the vision. They told me that, no, Dada, is not going to work. Now, I had to beg to differ because it worked for you. And if we tweak it a little bit, it'll work for anybody who has the heart. Because heart is something nobody could give you, nobody could teach you, you can't buy it, nobody can loan it to you. You got to have it, And they told me I was making the biggest mistake of my life. Listen, we got nominated for 2 Emmys out of the backyard on Telemundo with Casa Cerrado, right? Rolling Stones 2 times. National Geographic's E60 broke records on that, ratings. National Geographic's Taboo, USA, Home Strange Home. ESPN E60 broke records on that too. ESPN the magazine broke records on that too. Sold more magazines and ESPN than any other month that year. Got a chance to work with EA Sports, with Arnold Palmer, R.I.P. to Arnie, Tiger Woods and Lee Trevino, Dogfight on Netflix. Shout out to Billy Corbin, who believed in the project. He came down. Now we're doing Dogfight, revised Dogfight Round 1 and an all-new Dogfight Round 2. Vice Media, you name it, we've done it to the point that it's like, if a person is not a believer yet, what more do they want? But we're only going to the top. And every time we do an event, it's bigger, it's better, it's more elaborate than the last one.
Yeah, man, there's so much to unpack there. So let's start with the hair. When did you start wearing your hair like that? Because you've always had, every time I've ever seen you, it's been like that.
Yes, I started wearing this haircut roughly around 06, right? Because I was a warrior. So when you look at it, it's like the Spartan tradition, right? Almost like the helmets off of 300. Because where I come from and what I was involved in, you had to be cut from a similar cloth, mentally and physically. You know what I'm saying? So we're going into battle, when you talk about these backyard fights, right? But I also understood that I was inspiration to other individuals who was in that backyard. And let me share with you what I'm talking about. Everybody was going through a fight, right? Even if they were not scheduled to fight in the backyard that day. You see people, they got a smile on their face, but guess what? Some people are going through a spiritual fight, an emotional fight, a physical fight with their health, a mental fight. It's like they're going through something. Right? So you'd be surprised how far a kind word of encouragement, will go. When they can see you out there doing what you're doing, and when you walk past them, you stop and you ask them, how was your day? Did you enjoy the show? Hey, what's wrong with you? And you give them something that can propel them, to finish their day out strong. Yeah. The backyard was much, much more than a ground for combat. A lot of people, they've come back there and they've enjoyed themselves. They've gotten educated on certain things because you got people back there that actually cared. The kids, it was like a special, joyous time. People washing cars on the corners, the DJs playing, bounce houses is over here, people cooking food over here, people selling merchandise over here. It was entertaining, and we did that for over a decade on the highest levels, and I wouldn't trade that experience for nothing in the world. It was like going to school all over again. I learned everything that I need to learn, and that's what helped me, be a force on this level. And I got to say this, for everybody that's out there that's doing bare knuckle anything, don't think that they haven't taken a page out of Dada 5000's playbook or Kimbo's playbook, because Kimbo inspired. But he had those small contingency groups and make it into an event. You could have come back there and you could have seen a full-fledged event. We even got compared to some of the shows that they was having at the Miami Airlines. We had real tickets, bands that was made from Ticketmasters, linears, that showed you. We had ushers showing people this is where you're sitting. I mean, listen, we gave them that experience in the backyard, one that they would never, ever forget.
Just to clear it up for our listeners, the backyard is not a arena. It's not someplace, a standard building. When you say the backyard, tell our listeners what you actually mean.
A backyard. Hey, listen, you go outside your door, your back door, that's what I'm talking about. If you're in the country, you really know what I'm talking about. Listen, I had makeshift poles that I put inside the ring, that I put inside the backyard, and I drilled holes through them so it gave me 3 layers of ropes going around. I put chairs around, I decorated it, altered it, made it popping, and I promoted it. I got a lot of people to come out, and I even promoted it to corporate America. And like I told these guys, I'm like, listen, this may not look like much now, but come this Saturday, you're going to be wild. You're going to be amazed. Just call tomorrow, AAA. It's going to be awesome, amazing, and amusing. And people are going to be coming out here to see you. And I just need you to come out here and do 40%. And I'm going to do 60. I'm not even saying give me 50. Give me 40. I'm going to give you 60 because I'm the referee. I'm the matchmaker. I'm the promoter. I'm the curator. I'm security. I'm some of everything. So even though I did not master none of those, trades, I knew enough, to come out and to be effective, and that was all that mattered at the end of the day, because the people, they left amazed like, yo, Dada, when is the next one? And guess what? We only had a limited amount of chairs. These people were standing in that ring for hours, and they didn't even think about sitting down. It was just that much excitement in the air. We packed, more explosives than a stick of TNT. There's nothing else like it. So everybody that you see now, it could be from in the streets, it could be another organization. We were there before this sport was even popular. Like I said, Kimbo was there in 05, 06. I kicked off in 07, and we was with the majors, kicking up dust, putting out, content that was enjoyed by millions of people, that inspired the brains of everybody that's doing it, emulating it now. And I tell the people, we are the originators, we are the creators, right? Others out there, the imitators, the duplicators. You could copy whatever we do. The only thing you can't copy is respect. You got to earn that. And we did that.
So was your guys' slogan, pay for the seat, but you're not even going to need the edge, just throw the fucking thing out of the way? Is that what you're saying?
Hey, listen, the individuals that actually paid for the seats, they didn't even sit in them the whole,
That's what I mean.
Oh, and then a person get up, and now you got other people standing up, and that person could be like 6'5". He's in the front. This guy's 5'4" in the back, so he's literally screwed. So he's looking around. But at the end of the day, everybody had an awesome time. I tell you like this right here, we sent more than 10 guys pro to boxing, to MMA, even to the UFC, to Bellator, to man, listen, and this is what made me a threat, because you had MMA dojos and boxing academies. You've had these athletes said, hey, I'm going to cancel my subscription. I'm going to go train. I'm going to fight in Dada's backyard. So you have these athletes, they're doing these amateur fights, but no one is coming to see them of relevancy or importance other than their families. But they know a guy who just fought in the backyard and just got grabbed by Glenn Johnson of G-Force at the time, right? Gary Shaw, son Jared, giving a recommendation to certain people that, they seen out there. George Masvidal, all these guys have been inside the backyard, And at the end of the day, people anticipated it. People, marveled over it. DVDs that we did, they went to places that you would probably never want to go on planet Earth. So just envision this as an artist mentality, right? I have an album that I'm working on. My albums were the ESPNs, the National Geographics, the Rolling Stones, the Maxims, so forth like that. Like even here, could you see it? Those back there?
Yep.
Those are magazine covers and so forth that I just got laminated, and it's crazy because no one has done what we've done, and we're steamrolling now. So now I'm revisiting these partnerships that I forged in the backyard with ESPN. Like, hey, yo, listen. So the last time we collaborated was in the backyard, and you see everything that we throw it up, it blow it up. Wait till you get a whiff of what we are doing now. Come out and see what we got up, and I got their ears. So it's just, we only got a couple events this year, so we don't get them to come out because we collaborated with so many. We're gonna definitely, blow the lid off the pot. Coming into 2024, we're gonna come in hot.
Nice. So talking about the backyard. So when you first started like putting these events together, it wasn't legal, right? So like how did you get around all that? Were your fighters like signing contracts? Like what all went into the process of it? Because I've seen dogfight. Like I saw how you would set the backyards up, how you would cover everything up with the big fence and the tarps and all that, so nobody could see what was going on. But I mean, there was such a hype to everything. Like, I mean, how were you getting away with all this?
By being confident, by being assertive, and coming off with a sheer level of, how can I put it, righteousness, to the point that even with the authorities, keep in mind that they've never come close and up personal with this before. This was always a taboo subject. It was always hush hush, mum's the word, underground. So when I hit them with it, it was no code, it was no statute, it was nothing in their rule books that said I couldn't do what I was doing, because everybody said it was always underground. So they had to figure this thing out, number one. While they're figuring it out, my foot is on the gas. But they also understand that, hey, listen, we have more cops back there than you can imagine. And I would tell individuals, hey, listen, be kind and courteous to the person in the front of you, to the person in the rear, maybe on either side, because you never know who is who. I'm letting them know you got undercovers out there, you know. So it's like for me, they say, hey, listen, yeah, even if they were if they were in uniforms, hey, don't put me on camera. I'm on uniform, right? They knew where everybody was at that time. Then Dada 5000's backyard. They had a clean day, no crime going on at that point. You know, for 5 to 8 hours, you know, everybody and their mom is back there. And yes, I did have waivers, you know, back there. Was it illegal? 100%. And when I say 100%, you know, it's like I was not in a zone for that. I was running a business inside of a residential environment, right? If I would have took it across the highway, not so much, right? But then they would have came back with you charging at the gate. And I said, no, I'm not charging at the gate. You know, I said, hey, listen, I charge $20, you know, so these guys can see the sunset from this yard. And if you ever see the sunset from this yard, it's spectacular. The fights are free. You know, we just charge $20 to see the sun come down at this particular time. You know, so I knew what they could do and what they couldn't do. I did my research. This was not a situation for the police. This was a situation for code compliance, right? That's why every time the police came, they left just as fast as they came, because this was not their affair. I would have been more shaking if code and compliance, you know, came up, you know, and I knew that, and they never came up. You know, and we were doing so much good back there. Listen, we was bringing back the president of NBC back there. You know, these fighters, they understood, hey, listen, Dada, I've been told that I would never amount to nothing. You know, the only time that I get acknowledged is when I'm said that I participated in something bad. I don't hardly hear, hey, keep it up, you did a good job. These individuals back there, I put them in a position to transform their lives, you know, and they've heard for the first time in a long time, hey, man, you did a great job. Hey, keep it up. People started to pay them attention that wouldn't have underneath any other circumstances, right? They're paying for their training, this, that, and the third. And these guys, you know, were happy. I'm seeing them jogging. They left the streets alone because they seen daylight. You know, they seen a glimmer of hope, you know, and what a small price to pay for a shot at glory, you know. A lot of guys went, more than 10 went, but it was on them to be disciplined enough to stay, because they got to look. We've had hundreds of fights back there, a bunch. And a lot of these guys, they were great, but they probably lacked the mental discipline, you know, to be in a position to understand, you know what I'm saying, the opportunity that you got right now. But that's why I came in at. And I brought them from here to here. They couldn't see what was in the back of them, so I had to bring it into the front of them. And then they understood it. And some of them made a 360, you know, and they talk about the backyard today, to this day, like we just done an event back there yesterday. You know, that's the impact that we had. And you mentioned Dogfight Round 1. I seen the trailer of Dogfight Round 2. Dogfight Run, it was real, it was raw, it was authentic, it was gutter. And I told Billy, I said, man, wow, You know, you telling me that Dogfight 1 was amazing. Yeah. And I'd be the first one to say, I'm not a fan of me because I watched it one time. I only watched Dogfight, and it's been out for a while, since 2015. I probably watched that movie twice in its entirety because I lived it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I lived it. So it's like, even with round 2, I seen my mom, RIP to my mom's sister, RIP to Kimbo Slice, RIP to Miss Janet, one of the ladies who was like, oh, Chauncey. We lost a lot of good people, you know? So this is going to be iconic. It's going to be, you know, like immortalized, you know, and people are going to be able to see their loved ones, you know, in a time, you know, that they were happy, you know, that they didn't have the worries that they had coming down to the latter days, you know. And yeah, I seen that trailer and I was blown. I didn't think nothing could top round 1, but round 2, I'm gonna be honest. Even to film another one, which we will, it's like, yo, it's gonna be hard to top Dogfight round 2.
So let's talk about round 2. So round 2 is moving from the backyard into the Trigon, right?
Yes.
Because did you ever establish the Trigon in the backyard, or was it only once it became BYB Extreme?
No, we established it in the backyard. I knew I had something when we debuted it on National Geographic. I'm about to sing in some of the clips. Yo, everybody went to sleep. And I was like, wow. And that was on national TV, you know, and we did it for another, you know, publication. And around that time, they was hitting me with the cease and desist. So when they hit me with the cease and desist, I thought they were bluffing. You had high-level officials out there. You had captains, you had lieutenants, you had majors, you had about 12 of them. They came to the door. I ain't see so many bars and stripes. I thought they was a part of the Navy or something, but they were law enforcement. And the calls came from up top down to them, from the Florida State Boxing Athletic Commission, because all of the individuals, the business owners, they wanted me out of the way because they're losing money now. You know, people are canceling their subscriptions to come to the backyard, right? So they're making it, again, this was not an affair for the police. So they're calling the police, and the police couldn't do anything. So somebody directed their calls to the state commission. The commission, you know what I'm saying, invoked the assistance of law enforcement, because they're the commission, but they don't have no arresting powers. So they had to make rules. They had to put stipulations into effect. They had to put statutes and codes into effect. And when they done that, they got in contract with Metro-Dade. And officials from the Boxing Commission and high-ranking officials from Metro-Dade, they came, knocked on the door, and they served me with a cease and desist letter. And they told me, if you do it again, you're going to be arrested. And I'm just joking with them, just poking holes in them, you know, and just to see if they was real. And that dude said, I don't come out of my office for nothing or nobody, and yet I'm here. And I looked at him, the other one like, he's serious. And he's like, hey, and if you think we're joking, not only is you going to jail, we're going to bring the paddy wagons out, and everybody that's in this yard is going to jail. So I'm like, hey, man, we're too far in. This thing got to go. You guys got to do what you got to do, you know? Yo, so I postponed the event. They thought that it was still on. You had 21 carloads of police and like 7 paddy wagons lined up for that event. And I was like, yo, they were serious. They're serious. So I knew either I'm going to go on the ground because people done put the heat on me, and the only thing I was doing was changing lives. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't making money back there, but I knew that one day I'm going to be able to elevate and take this thing to where it's at now. But I'm going to help as many people as I can along the way. And for the viewers that's out there, understand what's my motivation, because I growed up with a lot of these individuals that I knew for a fact. Some of them could not read, some of them could not write, some of them could not comprehend, right? Some of them didn't have a trade, didn't have a high school diploma. You do got, you know what I'm saying, 2 strikes, and you're working on your 3rd. You come from a dysfunctional situation could be nagging girlfriend, unbalanced family, what have you. So you really don't have that many options. So I would rather you in my backyard, right, competing for cash, plus in the front of individuals that can help you change your life, opposed to waiting inside somebody else's backyard to tie them up and rob them for their hard-earned, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Resources and finances when they come home from work because you feel you don't have no other shot. And when people start looking at it like that, it's like, wow, yeah. Listen, while we're back here and we're doing something special, leave these guys alone. Because if you take this away, most of them don't have another alternative but to reflect on what I just said.
Yeah.
And people started to get it. Wow, I never looked at it. I was like, listen, I've been looking at it like that since day one. I knew years ago, you know what I'm saying, that this was going to be where it's at now. People told me, hey, you're taking MMA and boxing back 10 years with what you're doing. I was like, wow, listen, I heard it all. And I'm like, listen, at the end of the day, you don't see it now, and that's not your fault. It's like they hate us. I'm like, no, they're not haters. They're just uneducated about what's going on here, But at the end of the day, when they couldn't see the trees because of the forest, but when they started seeing NBC come back there with those satellite trucks and all that hardware, they started seeing these big promotion companies coming back there. It's like, oh wow, what the now the talk starts. And let me tell you something. Word of mouth travels faster than mail. Now people are believing. Now they're starting to see, like, yo, they just filmed this, and a month later they see it on ESPN, and they see them on national TV. Now the people are like, yo, they got national TV back there. Of course. And at the end of the day, no matter how influential, how impactful, the backyard was, I'm one of the most soulfulest, grounded guys. No matter how many papers I went front page in, I'm still, cool, calm, and collective, talk to everybody, stop, share time, positive words. And I'm just a spokesman for the culture, an ambassador for the movement. That's all I am. And for me to see that we have a structured team over here at BYB, we have the president, Mike Vasquez, part of NASCAR Formula One, started NASCAR diversity program. He has so many accolades, to his credit as the president, and when I sat down with him, before anybody came on board, it was me and him, and shout out to Pepe. Pepe brought me, to him. He's a partner as well. He believed because he's seen it. He's seen it in my eyes, and he's seen everything that was done. And he knew that coming together, we could do a lot of greater things, And we brought on Gregory Bloom. Gregory Bloom is a decorated, entertainment attorney / CEO / many, many other things. Hall of Famer matchmaker, Mel Venezuela, Mike Goldberg from the UFC, got him on board, 2-time boxing champion. Paulie Malignaggi got him on board, Claudia Torres, Claudia Torres, Hispanic, boxing commentator extraordinaire. When you look at it, the list goes on and on. Benny Ricardo, Dave Ryan, Al Bernstein. Wow. I better stop before I forget somebody. Big Mo.
Yeah, that dude's he's a great announcer. That guy, man.
Yeah,
that dude's good.
Don, with social media, so we got a team. We put together a team of superpowers that didn't come just for a check. They came because they believe. You know what I'm saying? And now the wheels are turning from city to city, state to state, out of the country, overseas. From London to Dubai, and this upcoming year we're going to hit about 5 or 6 more countries. So it's like no one can outdo us but ourselves, and we're going to keep raising the bar. And we're signing fighters every day, and it's wonderful, man. It's wonderful.
Awesome. So let's talk about the athletic commission a little bit. You mentioned them coming to your house to hand the cease and desist. Is there a like worldwide rule book for bare knuckle boxing? Because it's so new. Not new. We talked about it as the first form of fighting, basically.
100%. It's a new sport with old world tradition. Again, this stuff been around since the Roman Coliseum days when they used to duke it out to the death for the satisfaction and the enjoyment for the kings and queens and the noble citizens, right? So it's like now the ABC has picked it up. So keep in mind, it was never an MMA commission for MMA. It was only a boxing commission. So when MMA became legal, right? Mm-hmm. The boxing commission had to start, to oversee the MMA as well, right? And now the boxing commission oversees boxing, MMA, bare knuckle, kickboxing, all of that stuff. So those guys have their work, cut out for them. Shout out to Tom Shipman over here, in Florida. And now that the ABC has come on board, we used to have 7 championship rounds. Now we have 6, right? So they came on board. They made some adjustments, so forth like that. And, we're opening up states. This time next year, out of 52 states, we'll be in at least 40.
Nice. Awesome. So I've heard you say before, in your opinion, you think bare knuckle boxing is safer than boxing with gloves, right?
100%. Keep in mind, the gloves are designed to protect my hands, not my opponent's face. When you look at copy box punch stat numbers, right, we're talking about one fight. We're not talking about multiple fights over a year, let alone a career. You have more than 700 to 900 punches that are capable of being thrown in a 12-round boxing match. 300 jabs, 15 overhands, 300 body shots, right? That's a lot of hits, especially when you get these guys out there that's headhunting. When you look at CTE, when you look at, a lot of these guys, like, no offense to Reddick Bowe and, Holyfield, you see their speech is starting to slow up and stuff like that. That's because your brain is inside a bowl of fluids like kinetic tissues. And when you get hit, it's slammed into the firewall, which triggers the concussion. And you see now, even in the NFL, everybody's so big on the concussions. So it's like the gloves are designed to protect my hands, not my opponent's face. So in boxing, they put the wrap on. You guys know what I'm talking about. They put a hard cast on them before they even put, you can punch forever. You can punch forever. So at the end of the day, it's like boxing is a dangerous sport. More people have died in boxing, got their life changed in boxing more than MMA. But people have also died in MMA, Bare knuckle, is a gentleman's sport because an incorrect punch, your night is over. Boxing is a sweet science. You got to really pick your shots in bare knuckle. It's a safer sport, lesser punches. Inside of a bare knuckle fight, you may have, and that's if a person is really working, may have 100 punches thrown over a course of going the distance.
Yeah.
5-6 rounds, right? It's easier to get cut, but not blunt force. Because remember, we've touched boxing gloves. That stuff is like raw cowhide, right? So when you get a person that not just know how to punch, but they know where to punch, and they know how to turn that over on your skin, it's ripping you. Every hit is ripping you, and you're just constantly getting hit, and a lot of folks don't recover from that. Josh Dempsey, the grandson of the great Jack Dempsey, he told me, he was like, Dada, I remembered the punch that changed my life. You can't play boxing, can't play MMA, You can't play bare knuckle. This is the hurt business. You know, this is the hurt business.
With BYB, so it's true bare knuckle, right? Their knuckles are exposed. The only tape that they put on is behind their knuckle.
Red or blue. Red or blue. If they want some stability for their wrist, but not so much now because, again, the ABC changed that. No wrist wraps. You can have a strip of tape coming around here, and the other tape is red or blue, depending on your corner.
Okay. How many days in between fights is it that a fighter is allowed between fights?
So because the ABC has come in, if a fighter gets knocked out, they're not fighting or training for 30 days. We're doing a fight every month. We're in some city, some state, some part of the world, right? If a fighter was explosive, right? Like we had one fighter, he fought in Pembroke Pines. He came right back and fought in Mississippi. He didn't take any damage. Okay. So, you know, but our pool goes so far. So it's like if a fighter gets hurt, you know, of course he got to heal up. But if a fighter is exciting, you know, and they come out, get a quick knockout, they were entertaining, they have that option. It's not necessary, it's not mandatory, because we have a plethora of athletes. But if they say, hey, I'm ready to go, I want that guy, I'm going to do him the same way, and he's healthy, he's got a clean bill of health, then that goes underneath consideration.
Nice.
Male consider it, and if all the boxes are checked off, then you just may see that fight. Look at it like this. Monica Medina just beat Patty Suarez in Mississippi. Monica feels like she got robbed a year ago in Mississippi, right? And they're fighting for the third time, right? Nice. World War III, you know, at Mile High, you know, in Denver on December the 2nd.
Awesome. Going back to the bare knuckle being safer, I've heard a lot of people say that if football players went back to the leather helmets, that it would also reduce concussions in the NFL in football, because they wouldn't be using their heads as much as they are now with if they weren't protected as much with the leather helmets, they wouldn't be using their heads as much, you know, like as a battering ram.
100%. Because listen, even a kid, you know, they see fire, they're like, no, hot. They know, you know. And when you look at the sport back then, it was lesser injuries. Guys were healthier, right? So the rules changed when they wanted more excitement. So now we're going to put face masks on. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. So now you can use more of your body. So now you're not going to think smart. You're going to play harder. Think less, play harder, right? For the people of the gore, you know? So now that you guys are risking all the health and the safety of these players, you know, you can't lead in with your helmet. You can't do this, so you're 100% right. So now, you know, they're like, yo, listen, you know, the rumors, the talks is coming up. Like, let's go back. We're probably a long way from that, but
yeah,
it makes sense.
Yeah. You brushed over this earlier, working with Arnold Palmer and Tiger Woods. Talk about that. What was that all about?
Wow, that was great. We collaborated on the EA Sports commercial. You know, you and your fans and followers can check it out. It's Tiger Woods, The Rumble.
You been playing a lot at home or no?
Hit a few balls once in a while, that's about all.
Hey, I've been looking for you too. Omaha spread?
That's what I was thinking.
That was fun.
Trophies. I got this.
Trevino?
It was awesome because I got a chance, to do some of the choreography and, the dialogue inside of that thing, man. And it was almost like we pulled the page right out of the backyard because we put Tiger, Lee, and Arnie in a position that they were never shown, inside of a light they were never shown, right? So they were actually fighting off to save their trophies from these thugs that came, and they was like, hey, we want the trophies. And Tiger was like, you want this? And Arnie was like, you want these? And he had 3-4 trophies underneath each arm. And that dude looked at his partners. He was like, we want all of them. So Tiger was like, that's not going to happen. You see Arnie cracking his hands. And it was real. It was raw, and it was authentic to the point that, they sold 1 million video games in a week, And I said to myself, wow, that's when I understood that people deal with those that earn for them, And of course, I starred in it myself. That's something that nobody can take away. Man, I got something that's immortalized in history forever. Man, working with Arnold Palmer, working with Tiger Woods, Lee Trevino, and all of us, still remained in communication. To this day, man, I still, Arnold Palmer's VP, Corey Britt, man, we talked at least a few times. I reached out to Tiger, once he had his accident, and the same thing, got all those guys' contacts, man. So, amazing to the point that is like, if it wasn't for what brought us there, I wouldn't have been able to have the opportunity, to communicate with those guys in depth how I did, to build friendships. I got invited to the Doral Open. I got invited to the Arnold Palmer, Bay Hill Invitational. That's when Tiger became the #1 golfer again after his outside of the course problems. He became the #1 golfer, and I got invited to the Masters, that year. So, I mean, listen, I've met a lot of cool folks. Got a chance to work with Akon, wow, who else? You name it, man. Rick Ross, so many celebrities, man. Don King, Sugar Ray Leonard, you name it, I'm connected with everybody.
That's awesome, man. Ray, what do you have for Dada?
Let's see here. If you could pick one celebrity to fight, why would it be Tom Cruise? Well, just kidding. Who would you actually pick?
Oh, wow. Shaq is my guy. And Shaq came out to one of our events and Shaq said, Dada 5,000, blah, 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 get ready for Shaquilla the Gorilla, right? And be surprised as it may, the majority of the people out there, it'll be an honor to be inside the ring with anybody, celebrity, not celebrity, put it like this. You're going to be a superhero that night. Superman has the triangle shape, right? When you look at everything of speculation, curiosity, amusement, the triangle has always, embodied, everything that I just stated. People are still trying to figure out, one of the 8 wonders of the world, the pyramid, right? Triangle. Bermuda, the Bermuda Triangle. Basketball, triangle offense, love, triangle. Look on the back of your money, triangle. When you talk about the triangle, it clicks on a switch and it gets people excited. So anybody that gets inside there, man, they're going to show you a side of them that they didn't even know they had. But to go back to your question, we'll probably have to catch Bigfoot, or Godzilla if they exist, to put inside there, man. Because I'm on 10 right now, and I am planning, a comeback, and we're gonna blow it out of the water, man. We're gonna have every publication, every promotion, that we work with in the backyard. They're already like, Dada, give us the go. So, I'm training every day, a couple hours a day, and feels good. I came down from 320 to like 295. Shout out to Josh from Fit to Go Mills, down here in Doral, and it's going to be a short netted office for whoever's on the opposite side of that trigon.
So since the trigon is smaller and we used to say they brought their bike, can we start saying they brought their unicycle?
It may be a possibility that they could get a unicycle in there. And that's only if they're a midget. If they're a midget. Because we start off closer than any other combat sport on the planet. Yeah. Right? So it's like, this is the triangle, right? So your foot is here, my foot is here. The referee is here, right? So it's like, ready, go. If I launch out at you, either you're going to engage, you're going to retreat, you're going to parry out. But either way it goes, if I'm the aggressor, you don't have eyes in the back of your head. Remember, you have the triangle. I'm trying to navigate you into one of those corners. That's what you call the fourth man in the ring. And you get trapped inside one of them, it's going to be a short netted office for real, especially if someone is in the front of you that knows what they're doing. They have a vicious jab or they have a high ring IQ. Yeah,
man, it's exciting to watch. I love it. I'm a big fan of it. Please tell everyone where they can find the next upcoming events, October and December, and where they can watch them, all your plugs, all that stuff.
Awesome. So listen up, ladies and gentlemen. It's the big homie Dada 5000. You're now rocking with the best. This is a great interview, and I'm going to plug you guys in how you can stay tuned. A lot of individuals, they say, hey, follow me here. I'm not going to say follow us. We're inviting you guys on a journey of epic proportion. It's entertaining. It's something that you have to experience. And when I say that, I truly mean it. This is a roller coaster ride that's action-packed, full of thrills and chills. Follow Byb Extreme on all social media platforms, on Instagram, on Twitter, and on Facebook. Subscribe to the Byb Extreme YouTube channel, right? Same thing for Dada 5000. You want to see the vintage? You want to see where we come from, how we evolve? Subscribe to the Real Dada 5000 YouTube channel, right? Inviting you on a journey that you could be connected at the Real Dada 5000 on Instagram, on Twitter, and Dhafir Harris, on Facebook. And you can watch all of our fights all over the world on Being Sports Network. You can also watch all of our previous fights, individuals and in their entirety, on Byb Extreme YouTube channel. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be giving away some awesome stuff. We're putting together some awesome raffles, that's coming with the purchase of a ticket. You're going to win some very cool stuff coming up. Big prizes, nice prizes that you can't put inside your car. You got to make preparations for those prizes to get back home with you, And again, we do this for the people, And before we close out, I just said, with Dhafir Harris. That's my real name, right? A lot of people, they could not pronounce Dhafir, so I said Dada, right? Now the 5000 is because, again, light years ahead of my time. People couldn't connect with the backyard because it didn't register. I was doing this on such a high level 18 years ago. It was ahead of its time. Now you got all these other programs coming up and it's like, whoa, this is the best thing since Vice President. It's like, no, we've been doing that. That's why I asked them, to subscribe to the Real Dada 5000. And when you say 5,000, and we're just in 2023, I'm still 2,977 light years, ahead of my time and ahead of the game, and it's been a pleasure talking with you, gentlemen. The next fight is going to be in Rock Hill, South Carolina at the Rock Hill Sports and Event Center. And you can get your tickets, go to bybtickets.com or you can watch it, on BN Sports Network. And the last event of the year is going to be in Denver, and that's going to be BYB 22, and it's gonna be explosive. We got three world titles on that thing, and look, I reached out to the people. I said, hey, listen, is there anywhere possible that we can get seat belts attached to these chairs? Because that's the only way we're going to keep them down. Now, I'm telling you, this thing is a riot. We're going to put on a clinic in the Mighty Trigon. And I tell people, I say every fight will be a finish. Nothing in October or December is going to go the distance. And when it comes to bare knuckle, thank BYB Extreme, because the world knows we make the weekends.
Oh, yeah, man. Dada, thank you so much, man, for your time. This has been awesome, man.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you, man. And I'll be in touch with you, man.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, brother.